Hey yo everybody, what's up? Tom here, back at you with another video. And we're going to keep practicing our speed running. I'm like a little bit early into Act 2 on this. I finished late last night. It took me 1 hour and 36 minutes. Yikes. That's the second fastest I've ever done it, to do the first act. But, you know, we're going to keep practicing. Now, of course, the only build that I'm capable of even doing it that fast with is ED Contagion. So I don't even think I'm going to be starting this league. I'm either going to be doing bear slams or on a Titan. Or go for the Wyvern on a Shaman. Still trying to think of that. Probably Wyvern Shaman, just so I can try the new Ascendancy. But, you know, it is what it is. Just gonna pull up my chat here. I'm gonna pop that out. Okay. There we go. I've got both chats up. I'm locked in. We're ready to go. All right. Back in it. Where am I at right now? Return to the caravan with the defector.
I know what, but then,
So, let
I don't even know if I need to talk to them there. Inventory's clear. Okay, let's go. This way.
creepers and crawlers in dark spaces. How wonderful.
3 buttons, 3 clicks, and everything on the screen is dead in Act 2. Oh, that was close. By the way,
This one.
To me, since D was like my favorite league mechanic was. It was a very poorly received league back then, but the league mechanic, like the way it was built, I really enjoyed that, and they kind of applied what we did back then into how we're building the dungeon in the Fate of the Wall league. So I'm like, this might very likely become my favorite league. Without even playing it, like by the looks of it, it looks like this is right up my alley. I'm super excited.
Well, it's in depth this time too. Like the other league mechanics we have are like they're needed stuff. They're kill mobs. They're added crafting like this and all that. But we don't really have anything that's like fairly in depth. I mean, Abyss is like it's just in the map, pops up, kill the mobs. There's the crafting side of it is in depth, sure, but the mechanic itself is like kind of not.
I need some salami.
You kill things. There's a boss. It's just you're just killing and stuff mechanics. So. it's cool that we're actually getting like a full-on mechanic that's like got its own thing going on. That's kind of why I was hoping we were gonna get Coda. I don't know if you guys were surprised, but I would have
Thought I died there.
that we were getting Coda.
I'm right there with you. I would have bet a lot of money on it.
Future plan.
They said they had to cut it due to time point.
Holy.
And I was like, to me, that sounded like, oh, they're working on it, but it's not done yet.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I should have died there a few times.
Didn't make it to this either. It's like, okay.
She's just too
On
fast.
the other hand,
But
they
hey,
also had a
still.
5-week league Kiwi 1. So it's polite as well if they had Kiwi 1 to get out, and they have to move resources back over to Kiwi 2 to get it out for the December. But they're still in this process of getting used to having both games on the tight scheduling that they have. So I guess that plays a factor.
It's hard to make the two best ARPGs at the same time, I guess.
You know, I was talking about
That's
that
part of it.
earlier. Yeah. You know, it's so funny when Diablo 4 was getting so much shit early in the stages of Diablo 4, and PoE 1. People said that the only way for PoE 1 to have a game to compete with, they had to make their own game to compete. That's what people. It's kind of true, though, I'm not gonna lie.
I like that. Like the complaints I would have are all based upon my previous bar that's set by them. So it's like, look, if I'm upset, it's because they don't meet their own bar. If I compare any league or any update to any other games, league or updates I have.
Let me try not using the
I can't
minions
say
and
anything,
just
but
doing
it's
more
like
damage.
The only time I can really complain is when I'm looking at like what I know they're capable of doing. It's like it feels like the dad like looking at the son who's already like massively overperforming, and he like drops the ball one time, and you're like, like what the fuck? You're only up by 50 points, son. You're supposed to be dunking on him.
I mean, that's kind of like the position we're in. I mean, I think we all can agree that the PoE community is extremely spoiled. Like, we are so spoiled. And it's
Look,
like,
okay, wait. I'm gonna pause him right there. We are spoiled, but that's also why we're the community that we are. We're drawn to this game partially because, well, one is just that it's a really good fucking game. But the other is that GGG does really, really good updates, and they do them consistently. And so that is a big part of the appeal of GGG's brand, is not just that the game is good, but that they do regular, good, beefy updates that really makes everybody want to come back and play with it. Okay, I think that's the fastest I've ever gotten through this zone.
You like this of me?
By far. What you gotta do is remember to hug the wall, I think. Might be the trick. Oh. I got a pretty good shield, which is why I'm trying it. Trying it out. Level 6 skill gem, that's good. We'll go Essence Drain for that boss dips. But I do think I enjoy the having the minions more.
Death and decay.
Alright, I'll pick up energy shield gloves. It's also nice having the minions out to just clean up the stragglers. So that you don't have to waste time going after one guy.
None can oppose me.
I already have 2+1 weapons. I don't think I really need to waste time on those Halani spirits.
Recent corpses.
I have 20% movement speed boots, I believe. Or maybe it's just 10.
Hold them back while I open the gate.
Yeah, no, my boots suck, actually. I should be actually going to the
She made light work.
vendor when I level up. I'm gonna go to the vendor after this pack. Because I leveled up. Actually,
Advance with me. There are 2 more gates we must open.
they reset on the even levels, right? So I don't need to do that. I think what I need to do is go every other level to the vendor. I think they refresh on the even levels.
I will feast on your soul.
Their formation is broken.
Researchers, I'll do it.
Whatever's in here, I'm taking it. Let's see what was worth guarding so fiercely.
Okay, level. So there's our level. Level 20. So let's go check out the vendor. We're going to do this quick. Identify first. Oh, I never got Renly's tools. That's okay. I don't need to bother with that right now.
So, my
Um,
wares are renowned.
main thing here is going to be movement speed boots with energy shield. Preferably 20. I need a regex. I can go like movement speed. I think I know how to do this. Okay, caps. Movement speed. And then it's comma. No, I need to just make my own regex really quick. So PoE2 regex. Please work. Oh my god, it's actually working for me for once. Here, let me allow you to see that. Leave that there. See? Just like that. So, what we want is... Oh, is that actually good to start with? Show options. All right. So we're going to go movement speed 15 or 10. I guess all of these, right? Plus to level of skills. Chaos damage. Spirit. What about spell damage? Aren't you allowed to have like up to 250 characters? So I just... Yeah, I think I know how to do this, so we're going to I know what I'll do. Take a picture of that. Reset. And we're gonna, like, start around here. One thing is gonna be spell damage. What if I want, like, pure energy shield? Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do anything other than that. Alright, maybe that's actually good. For now. I have movement speed, plus to level of skills. Those are the main things. Yeah. Alright, so we have a regex. That took a bit of time, but I think it'll be worth it.
But
Anyway, I need to learn how to
comes
do this
from
shit, right?
GGG having such an insane track record history of making us have ridiculous expectations. And then
Take care.
despite us having those expectations, they still blow out of the water, like completely outperforming it on a consistent basis. So when the very, very,
So why is
very
this being
few
highlighted?
times over the past, I don't know, 10, 12 years, where they don't overperform our expectations, but they
Spirit.
over-deliver, we're like, what the fuck is this? This is shit. This is so bad. I'm disappointed. This has ruined my day.
Alright, well, it is
It's
what it
so
is. That's
crazy.
okay.
But it's like I said, as soon as you compare it to any other game, it's like,
I think
oh,
it's
we got
working.
This patch is the
Wait,
equivalent of
it should
2
highlight
years
this.
development of any other game.
No, I never got spell damage in there.
And they're doing it on a 4-month cycle.
I'm gonna go...
That's crazy. It's fun though.
Boom.
At the same time. Considering how PoE 1 is
Spell
where it is today.
damage.
Can you imagine where PoE 2 is 10 years from now? Like, just imagine it.
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, just honestly, even PoE 2 on launch, if this is the game now,
Right, and then you
it's
can
another
lose
year of, like, if they're launching at the end of 2026,
letters like
another
this.
year of additional end game, new mechanics, new classes, new ascendancies, way more skills. Like, it's getting crazy.
No.
No party hats in the game yet, so that's still an L, but we will get there over time.
Well, you got a Voldo box. So GGG had a promotion, so some streamers get sent out a little puzzle box we had to open.
What
in there,
did it look like for
decipher
chaos
a
damage?
little card for us to redeem a code to design a divination card or design a unique. And DM got the unique item, I got the div card.
True.
So you gotta decide a party
CH.
hat. Is that your plan?
I already
Plus
tried.
Da.
I put that request in for
Spell
0.3.
damage.
I said
No,
that you can make
CH
a
plus
party
da.
hat that drops, but only on the first day in all the colors. So it's literally just a collection
So,
item that mirrors the
would I wanna
experience
go-
of PoE 1, or of Old School RuneScape. Or, I guess RuneScape, not Old School RuneScape at this point. And so, I don't really think they like the FOMO stuff, or like stuff that only drops on one day or whatnot, you know? And I don't know if they're going to do another like hidden unique like they did with Onigarashi, so I'm probably going to have to make like a normal unique. Unfortunately, so we'll have to see. I know how many other. There's a bunch of other people that got that though, right? Like Quinn got one right. Datmod's got one. Forgetting who else, but I think there's a
I
bunch.
don't know how
of
many they
those.
sent out.
I don't know. It's 10% of them. So however many
Yeah.
boxes they had, it would be 10% of those boxes. Speaking of that, I thought we were going, Lexi.
You have like a timeline or a guess on when that would be like, coming to
No.
fruition?
No, they're supposed to like reach out and say. When
I
they're
see
developing
how
it, but I'm
Regex
assuming
works
they're
now.
constantly behind, like on both PoE1, PoE2. Like,
Gotcha.
I'm assuming they're just on the fucking treadmill, and this is me like trying to speed up the button a little bit. So I'm assuming.
But I'm
they're
not
trying
sure
to-
if this is actually gonna work. So
We'll see.
Oh.
I kind of like the whole hidden thing. Like the Abyssal Lich was such a well-received
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It was hinted, and nobody knew what it was, and I was like, oh, it's an entire new ascendancy. It was such a.
I'm
cool
gonna put in
thing,
as
you know,
much
it
as
was
I
hidden
can.
cool
Actually,
as
that's what
well.
I'm gonna do.
I don't think they're
SP.
opposed to doing those things, and they even said that they're,
Okay.
you know, considering how well received it was.
Amazing.
they're
So
open
we're
to
gonna
doing
actually
more things
copy
like that in
this.
the future. And that would be really cool to see.
Do you think there's
Yeah,
anything?
that
Put that
like
into my notepad.
League?
Now we
I
have an
honestly think
actually
it would have been hinted.
reasonable
Do you think there
regex.
is? I
Yeah,
think
I
it would have been hinted at.
I think there is, and I think they hinted at it. Like they didn't hint at it in.
Okay.
They didn't hint at it for 0.3. Like in terms of like saying anything in the review, they didn't say it in the reveal trailer, and they didn't say it was in Q&A.
that's
But
What
in
do you
the
mean not hinting? Jump into the well. I wonder what's down there. That
that's
was
the
hint.
boss. The boss is down there. That's not how you ascend. You don't jump into the well and then suddenly you're ascended. You jump in the well to fight the boss. So like
That was part of it.
you kill the boss, and then at the end you get the ascension or whatever. But like the jumping in the well is like everyone jumps in the well to fight the boss. I don't think that was a hint at the abyssal.
Well, I mean, I guess it is better, right? So
In
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
in 0.4, I think they are actively hinting
Ba-
at
ba-
it.
da-
because
ba-
Mark says
da.
he likes to put these in during the Q&A. He says, "Yeah, we like to put these in the game. We'll continue to put more into them, but like I don't, I won't mention them or whatnot because I won't spoil that stuff." So I would imagine there's probably a Vol.
Jin Baria. We've got a level 2 supporty.
The Chronomancer, or maybe like the Sorceress gets a third, a Miracle Worker one or something. I think there is probably one hidden.
That would be cool.
Or Blood Mage gets something. Blood Mage jumps into the blood water that Queen of Syria goes into to
True.
commune is the PG word of saying.
Yeah, I cannot believe Jazzerus was right about that. I mean, like he was not only right, he was right on like astronomical levels of being correct by this. Absolutely insane.
I mean, does that mean everyone's gonna play Blood Mage? If you can corrupt the Blood Mage to have 4 titties? I'm just saying.
Augen.
Exactly. Take a little swim and out you can corrupt the version of the Blood Mage. But I am on board that if they have an hidden ascendancy, I am on board with that being a Gemlin Legionnaire with the whole Vol thing. But I'm less so now post-reveal because of the simple fact that I was so on board with there being Vol gems, and that's not in the game. I really thought this was the patch they were going to introduce that.
Yeah, I would have thought as well. I'm actually really glad there's.
Yeah,
not
I don't
boss
rem-
areas. That would have.
I
been,
don't
like,
remember
That would have been.
the all of the skill gems, but I'm trying to do it by memory here. It took me a while to remember there that yes, indeed, I end up having considered casting and like everything.
Been kind of an annoying, an annoying random extra thing. So I'm kind of glad that's not like a thing. Like, we have a whole like a whole ball
Oh, wait.
side fucking dungeon.
I hope I didn't lose my
Well,
portal
the
taking all that
explanation
time on the
for,
regex.
Like why they don't have the Vol skills yet did make sense to me though.
I missed that
Not
part of the
too-
Q&A. What would they say?
I missed that as well. Enlighten us.
They basically said that it doesn't make sense to do Val skills yet when there's still so many skills missing and they've still got so much work to do on the
True.
skills. They were like, that's more of like a launch thing to do Val skills.
Yeah,
And
that's
that makes
true.
sense.
That's true. I can't really argue with that, I suppose.
I can't argue with it either.
Someone mentioned, by the
Oh.
way, in your chat, Ascendant there could be something hidden behind potentially like removing
Oh,
all
I see
of
what's
your
happening.
limbs. They had
She
a
made it look like
mechanic where you could remove a
Oh.
limb. I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, you could,
Robotic.
like,
I see
remove-
what's happening here.
remove your limbs, you remove all four.
What I need
like,
to do-
all of a sudden something else unlocks or something. It'd be really crazy.
HK47
That's
Ascendancy. That'd actually be pretty sick. That part caught me.
Cyborg.
That part caught me completely off guard. Like I had a 0% expectation for any of that. Like randomly being able to replace your limbs. And what was it they actually showed? It was like first magnitude, and it was like smaller buffs. It wasn't anything like crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't anything insane.
Someone in chat wrote limp dick dead eye.
We need to be able to cut our Roa's legs off to give the Roa a movement speed buff. Like put in metal leg Roa. Could use the help. Roa actually getting buffs this league is like fucking wild. Dude.
Yeah. I was not only did they remove the movement speed penalty notes on the tree for other builds to I think it was Dreamcore that mentioned that, something like that for them to compete with it with the Roa, or someone mentioned that in a video I saw recently. And then the Roa was like, yeah, you just don't have any penalty, but it costs you a little bit of the movement speed buff is now removed, but you don't have any penalty at all anymore. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
No, man. In LA, I thought they were gonna.
Is it really a buff, or is it more just like kind of
wham,
neutral?
wham, wham, they nerfed it, and then I read it again. I was like, LA is still good.
Yeah,
Hold up a minute now.
still playable.
Yeah, but like, are you really gonna play Lightning Arrow instead of Druid?
But
So I think.
like, more than fine for mapping.
What'd you guys think about the boss diminishing return damage on beginning? Like, so like now when you have a startup of a boss, it's got like the Arbiter deal.
By the way, the real nerf on Lightning Arrow is the Lightning Rod thing, that it goes from a max of 20 rods to 10. That's a lot less damage. I mean, I think that means that you're reducing the damage of the Lightning Rod by half. Am I wrong about that? That the damage of the Lightning Rod goes down 50% less. I do believe that's how that works. So that's the big nerf for that build.
DR basically. Has you
All bosses?
Yeah, all bosses have a mechanic of there's DR cooked into them now because they're sick of people like preloading damage and then just like one-shotting the boss. So like bosses have a falling off DR.
I did not see that. I don't
They
like
have
that at
this in
all.
PoE 1. This exists in PoE 1. I might be off on the reasoning, but I think if I had recalled correctly, it was because of miners and trap builds that would just spam up the mines and traps under the boss. The boss would spawn and boom, it's dead. So like if you have a boss that has 100 million HP and you have a build that does 100 million boss DPS, you don't kill it in 1 second. It doesn't die in 1 second. It takes a couple seconds, and that is because of the slowly decaying damage reduction that they have when they become attackable, which is actually something that my understanding is refreshes every time they go out of a immunity phase. So every time
It's
they
an
go out of
interesting
immunity
idea.
phase, they have this damage reduction that then tapers down. Apparently, when the boss is a stationary boss, it tapers down faster. If the target is moving, then it tapers down faster as it's moving on top of already decaying. I think it's pretty good in general because it kind of prevents these. Oh, the boss spawned, now it's dead. You can still do it, but it will require a ridiculous amount of extra damage compared to what it does in the current state. So I don't mind it personally.
And then you can still beat the boss even if you don't have that
I like
ridiculous
boss
amount
too,
of
based on what
damage.
Like when I'm fighting an endgame boss, I want to fight the boss, no matter how strong I am. Like I want to have to actually engage with the fights.
No.
And at some point in the game, you get so much damage output You just trivialize the boss.
But yeah, I don't necessarily mind it as well. Because like I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like, do I actually not like this? And then it's like, okay, it feels like, oh, I'll punish you for having damage. But then it's like, I think about it, it's like, do I really want to have a D4 situation?
Yeah, I'm using the
where,
wrong
like, every
spells
single
here.
boss is You just walk up and like he like shows up, he's like, I'm here, fucking just like fucking dies, you know? Like, yeah, probably not. Like, I mean, what? And then the only thing that the longest part of the boss fight is having to click the respawn button on the boss. Like, I mean, probably not.
And the Sekimas disgrace
I mean, you can get to that with a strong enough character. So like, that's not taken away from people that like that. It's just gonna require you to invest. Like instead of doing one, I normally don't fight the user boss because I'm strong enough to face that person. Because I enjoy that. But if I want to fight the boss and I want to have a challenge on it, I'll go in when the character's ready, not when my character is, overkill ready for it.
You know, speaking of bosses, another change that, how you guys feel about? I mean, I'll tell you now. I kind of like this one. Is that to to really juice your maps, you have to kill Arbiter. You notice that? You got
Yeah, I
it.
saw that.
Yeah, in order to rare up your tablets for now, you have to kill Arbiter now.
Just the like first tier 1.
Yeah, you got the normal Arbiter, but you got to like get the kill now, which I mean made me laugh because like you know how many times in hardcore like you just avoid Arbiter for as long as you can
Oh right, yeah, that's a nerf to hardcore, isn't it?
until you can just one-shot them, and now it's like, hey man, if you're gonna farm for like 2 weeks, you know you're gonna have to walk in and fight Arbiter now, or you're gonna actually have to do it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. What I do mind though is like Uber Arbiter from a softcore perspective. Is like you either buy the Uber fragments, which are pretty expensive, to fight the Uber Arbiter, but if you die once, you get to fight it again. But if you die once, it's downgrades.
Profane ritual, that'll be
And I
nice.
think my biggest problem with Arbiter, I have a clip somewhere.
Damn it, I forgot to talk to Hooded One.
Like, let's just do this. Easy fight. My character's super decked out. It's fine. I go in, and the motherfucker, he body blocks me when I walk into one of the circles where the fires are dropping down.
Yep.
I barely made it. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I run down to the second one. He does the dash attack and pushes me out of it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Gate
So,
cap.
all I can think of is like, imagine if I played hardcore and that's how I ended my character.
Bro.
I would be so mad.
I don't have to imagine. I've died to that. I've also died to the worst one in the fucking game, which later got nerfed, which is like there's this fucking pole in the middle of the thing when that you can run into, and you
Do I have
can
any
get
Alex?
stopped by like an actual inanimate object can kill you in that fight. So like when you're doing the circle phase, the sword that he puts in the middle has an impact. So if your shield charged and you run into it and it stops you and you just fucking die. So like, I found that one out. I was like level 95. I'm like, you know, it's time for Arbiter. I go into there. I do the hallway phase, no problem. We're in ball phase now. I run into the fucking thing and I get shit on. It's like, well.
There is this really good game that has this end screen when you die that says maybe him a skill issue. You ever consider that?
Yes, for glory.
Hey man, at least you know. At least I tried.
That was
You know
a
how-
good game. Sorry.
You know how an arbiter spawns, like he immediately does that like very straightforward fire attack
Yeah.
off the rip? My very first time attempting that, I was just standing right in front of him. I was like, okay, noted. Stand to the side on the next attempt.
Yeah.
I watched stat mods die to like a weird hitbox. You know how he'll do the beam, but the beam has a hitbox beyond the visual of it. So he's standing like in the corner, the beam's not touching him, and then he doesn't realize his health is just going down. He gets beamed, like, and he's like in the corner, like here. The beam's like here, and he's like here. He just fucking melts. He's like, wait, I'm getting hit by that? Yeah, that thing's got a janky ass hitbox.
Well, I don't mind that the using a maps is gate again, the first tier of Arbiter. I don't like most people play software, right? So I don't mind that being the case, as you can die and try again kind of approach to it. And the first version of Arbiter is not really that hard on the state of your character. It's more about you gotta learn to fight and do the fight. And I think that's a good way to let people do that. And in software, you don't lose XP for dying, so you can be there and get your attempts in and learn to fight and try it. So I don't think it's a problem. but it definitely is a bit of a sketchy moment for hardcore players for sure.
I like it. Yeah, like Void Stones. You get an actual reward for clearing Arbiter and a reason to actually do it. I think it's a good change, personally. Oh, speaking of good changes, I know you're very excited by it, guys. Yeah, I saw the clip. What do you guys think,
How
or
can I
I'll go for you
advise?
first, Moxie, and I'll let guys you sit there and mull. What do you think about the density
Who goes
changes?
there?
Where
No
now
need
it's
to
40% less density, but you have like 40% more effectiveness of mods. How are you feeling about that?
I don't love it, to be honest. I think it was
Warm nights.
they were talking about it in the Q&A, but I would prefer to have that be an option early on in the Atlas.
Stay
Of
inside.
like, oh, the build that I'm using currently is not great at dealing with huge masses of enemies. So my very first Atlas point, I'm gonna go for the 40% increased health of enemies, but 40% less quantity, and I could just take that off the rip on like literally the first
That
Atlas
is a
point
smart
and
idea.
have a decision to do that. Versus if I'm playing Essence Drain Contagion, I don't click that node and I go for like the more pack size and have that be a way to tailor my end game. I do think that
No!
it's more performance, a little bit more performance based
I fucked up.
than they were like.
Oh, no.
letting on
Okay, good.
For that decision, I'd imagine 40% less enemies means the game runs a whole lot better. But I did not love that because what makes these games super fun a lot of times is blowing up screens of enemies.
You know why they didn't do that? And this is my conspiracy theory. I think they did that because it helped with the performance. And I think the performance was probably the main reason that they did it. And they're kind of trying to make it sound like they're solving this big community concern. Even though it wasn't really a concern. The problem wasn't that the screen was full of enemies. The problem was that between all of the effects that you can't see through, multiple fucking AoEs, whether it's mortar cannons blowing shit up and there's explosions everywhere, or you're a warrior and you're doing slams and there's fucking fire blasting everywhere, and then you have there's several builds like that, and then you have the effects from the monsters, which, to be fair, the monster effects usually aren't so bad. But the problem comes when you can't see things through your effects, and then there's these ground degens that you can't see. And even if your effects weren't that bad either, there's all these monsters covering the ground degens, and the performance, when the screen frame rate starts to go down like that, you get screen tearing. It's really hard to see what's going on. Everything gets pixelated. The resolution goes down. But I think they kind of were. They're here's what it is. Fissures are so fun. Yeah, I mean, PS5, it probably wouldn't be able to handle it. But here's my conspiracy theory. How you doing, Mancelot, by the way? How you doing? They're saying we're doing this for gameplay reasons, but it's really just for the performance. And so they're phrasing it like they're killing two birds with one stone. When in reality, it's like you're swapping between something. The mob size is good, but the problem with the mob size is the performance, not the fact that there's too many mobs. I think they know that, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's marketing. That's all.
Putrefy.
You've been lurking? Were you lurking in my game? In my stream? Yeah. Like, you know the mob density is going to go back up eventually, right?
None can oppose me.
You know the mob density is going to go back up eventually. This is a temporary thing, and they're trying to frame it like they're killing two birds with one stone, when in reality, this is a sacrifice they're having to make for performance. So, even if it means waiting until the next generation of consoles and people having stronger PCs, it's gonna come eventually. Even like if it's 2029 or whatever. And so that's why what Moxie's proposing, which is a really great idea I hadn't thought of, which is like just basically have it default to normal mob density, and then have a option on the
Mostly intact, but
Atlas tree
overwhelmed with
to reduce the density and increase the health. And then you can choose what you want to do as a player instead of having less mob density forced on you. I think someone at GGG would have thought of that. And the fact that that's not what they did indicates to me that they're full of shit. Which is fine, like, I'm okay with them being full of shit. But I do think that they are. Well, it can't be a performance option if you're reducing the mob density, because that's a gameplay change. Oh, my guess is that PS5 has fewer performance options than they do on PC. In PC, I think a lot of people probably have bad performance because they're not
wither away.
optimizing things correctly, because you can select like DirectX 12 and well, I like these different options. Right. So are you gonna play Druid, Mance?
Death is my power.
And if you're gonna play Druid, what form are you excited about?
Yeah. I have a pretty big take on it. Originally, I didn't like it. Now I'm more in the boat of we gotta play test
I'll
and
take
see.
that.
I think that part of it is good, where the fights will be, hey, you're fighting a pack of monsters before your character's super decked out. Like, you're actually having a fight. It's not like you go in one shot and move to the next pack, one shot and move to the next pack. So I mean, that could make the game more interesting and kind of get you into the whole tactical gameplay, fighting.
The bear looks cool.
Dangerous foe feeling, which you have in the early campaign. So maybe this is a way to do that. I don't think that's going to be very successful in that end. But what it does,
I haven't really looked.
Alleviate.
I haven't really looked at the ascendancies, but from what I heard, the bear seems like it might be interesting to try as a warrior. Because warrior has a lot of slam and aftershock. Which, if they improve the performance, you'll actually be able to use this league. Yeah, I like the idea of slamming with the bear, making fissures. But fissures and aftershocks. Well, it's just like the warrior, right? The warrior's slow until you you put, like, it's like you get rapid attacks and like attack speed improvements, and then increase your AoE and damage, so you're killing everything. I think that it'll be slow to start off with in like the first act or two, but once you get a good weapon, once you get some passive nodes, it'll be good. I think I'm gonna go for the Wyvern because it does lightning. And actually, I've been thinking about maybe trying to do the thing where you generate rage in bear form, and then spend the rage in wyvern form. So I might actually be doing a wyvern with like bear support type thing. If I do that, I'll do the druid ascendancy, or I'll do the druid class. But if I decide to do
Wither away.
slams, I'm probably gonna go Titan. Get that hulking form. Get all that aftershock stuff on the tree. Did they get... I think they got rid of the pouch on the Ascendancy for the Titan. Which, well, I have mixed feelings on that because on the one hand, it doesn't give you any power. So it's like, I'd almost rather get power from that node. Yeah, I think they did. But on the other hand, I do enjoy having that pouch because, like, I keep my currency in there. I keep, like, some items that I like to swap in between in there. Here, let me check that so that I'm not spreading misinformation. I think the skill tree is released. And then I'll make a window for it, so we can see that. Right, that's great. Great use for it. You can put maps in there, like it's very useful. So here's what I'm gonna do. Go to Streamlabs, and then we go properties. Oh, it's already the way I wanted. I just need to... Yeah. So let's see if I can find this thing. Do they have the skill tree? Is it on PoE Ninja? Okay, so it does say that it's here. Am I in the right league? Oh, wait, this is probably this current league, right? They don't have Druid here, do they? It's called Shaman. Nope, it's not here. I just want the passive tree. PoE 2. Passive skill tree. This is all that people are going by. This image right here. All right, so I think what I need to do is go to the website. PoE 2. I thought I should be able to delete chats. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm just going to keep playing. Sorry about that. Here, I'll put that video back on. I should have done that, actually.
A lot of pressure on having multiple projectiles, massive AoE to cover the screen as much as possible, since there will be fewer monsters. So you don't, like, it would open up the possibility for more build diversity as a result of that, which I think might be a good thing, but again, we'll have to play test and see. That's kind of the boat I'm in. My biggest concern is two things. One is the part you talked about, Moxie, which is the minor one. The biggest one I have is that one of the main complaints we've seen in the early stage of PoE2.
Yeah, I wish I was able to show you,
and how hollow and empty they
but
feel.
I don't know all the tricks like that.
Isn't that literally going to emphasize the whole feeling of the maps being so big?
Ooh, a lesser jeweler's orb.
Even further. That's my biggest concern. What's your take on the topic, DM?
I feel like I'm a little bit more positive about it, but I think of it from the angle, like, I think in 0.3, one of the most common complaints I've heard is that the game is, like, too easy and that you're just screen wiping literally everything, and I think they're trying to, at some point, combat a percentage of that, and, like, they still want you to, like, actually have to fight some of these mobs. So I can understand the thought process behind it. On the other hand, I do get the argument of it's an ARPG, we want a bunch of mobs, poppy a bunch of mobs, so it's good. And it also nerfs a bunch of, it kind of nerfs the effectiveness.
What is it that I want here? Spending too long?
The ADC thing is an obvious example. Things like Herald of Ash.
Oh, considered casting?
I mean, who's really
Yeah, let's do that.
Herald of Ash too much. The involvement of AoE kind of gets nerfed a bit, but again, that kind of comes back to, like, I feel like AoE is like the only thing I ever think about. So, like, I'm kind of mixed on it. I'm kind of at a point where it's like I'm willing to see what it actually looks like, and I don't hate the idea that when we kill, like, a rare mob, it's a bigger loot pinata. I kind of like the idea of, like, to get a little bit of, like, a decent loot explosion, or maybe a chance to, like, get some better items from these things, because, like, you know, ground drops can feel like pretty lackluster in my opinion. So there's positives I see about it, and there's...
I wonder why nobody sees what I see, which I think is obvious, which is that they're really doing it for performance. Now, I guess you could argue against that and say, well, they've kind of always wanted it to be like a more slow and methodical gameplay. Or maybe not slow and methodical, but at least, like, you know, engaging combat where you need to think about what the enemies are doing, plan around them, be tactical. And if you're just blowing up entire screens, you're not doing that. You know, maybe giving the monsters more health and reducing the number. It can force you to have to, well, essentially do more damage, right? That's the main thing.
What have you learned? Go.
Oh, that's a big damage buff.
I hear you. Take your time.
Yeah, I will definitely
As you wish.
take 5% increased movement speed. 372, 214, bing bang boom. All right, 22 ES, 28 ES.
As you wish.
Later, Mance. Nice chatting.
You know, negatives I see about it. So I think I'm probably more positive than the average guy on this one, though.
Yeah, I mean, the change is there, right? So, I mean, we can complain all we want. I have a concern, and I just feel like whatever concern or opinion we have, we'll play test it, and then we'll provide our feedback based on what we experience. Like, that's just where we end up, right?
Yeah, I need to see it because it could feel really bad. I think you make a valid concern about the maps being hollow. Like that's a pretty valid concern. If it does come down to like there's a pretty big gap and I'm just kind of like traversing just to the next pack, like that's obviously a concern. I think it does leave an opportunity for Atlas tree growth, like being able to actually increase pack size, for instance, might have more value than on the tree if you have more pack size. If we have more value for each pack, then maybe pack size gets a little better. I could see a little bit of an argument there. Although I like Moxie's thought about like it could have been an Atlas tree thing, where you like click this and you choose to spec into this as a for your build. I think that is the reason I like that idea is because I like things where it like kind of customizes your experience more. Kind of the reason I like this league mechanic. I think the whole reason that we like PoE1 was originally like you kind of build your own style of mapping, and so that kind of is along that same style of thought process. So I like that. I like that call out.
Another aspect to consider is that they're talking about mob density, not pack quantity. So it could be that you're moving from pack to pack the same way we're doing now. It's just that the packs you're engaging with just have fewer monsters.
Yeah.
Which would kind of make the maps maybe feel hollow anyways. But you know, my concern still remains. Because it's not about pack quantity, it's just mob density. But it definitely impacts things like you were talking about, Moxie, like EDC, for example. You definitely want a bunch of smaller monsters so you can kill.
It's a combination of mob density and pack quantity. It's both. Because theoretically, you could have 4 monsters that are extremely close to each other. Extremely dense. But that would be less satisfying to destroy than a pack of 10 monsters that are spread out more. You know what I'm saying?
Kill to make that spread
So
out.
it's really a combination of both.
Small monster is now the equivalent of a goddamn rare from point 3. You know? It's gonna take a while for that to die so your spread happens. And during that time, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get swarmed, which seems to be the main reason why they're doing this in the first place, you know? That was just surprising when they said it. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think one pro, at least in their eyes, we'll see how it actually plays out, but I think there's going to be less of a difference between you finishing the campaign and doing your combo playstyle and then entering maps. Like that more combo focused playstyles are probably going to live on for a little bit longer because you're going to have to be dealing with higher.
I'll be right back, guys.
And less up.
Actually, no, I'm going to do another half hour, then I'm going to feed my
So
dogs.
that you're like combo probably lasting a bit longer into maps for that, like, you know, playstyle that they're trying to encourage.
I think it's definitely going to feel like way less mob stuff, because not only are we having this change in effectiveness, but also we don't have Abyss in every map, and Abyss is like crazy for mob density. I mean, yeah, fuck that mobs people that thing, so
that's a good point.
Like, I mean, I think it's going to feel a little bit like, you know, it's that Poverty League, how people sometimes with Poverty League, like right after Affliction, it's going to feel like that, like mob Poverty League, I would assume. Incursion is like outside the map too. So it doesn't really, like, Incursion doesn't really... Do they call it Incursion? Do we actually know what the mechanic itself is called?
But as you wish.
The what mechanic?
Like, what is actually the mechanic called? Because the other one's Abyss, right? Like, we all know it's Abyss. What is this mechanic actually called? Is it Incursion? That's not, like, that's the league name. That's not the mechanic name. Like, a Rise of the Abyss is not what... Every time I talk, I'm like, oh, there's a Rise of the Abyss in my map. Like, no one says that.
Isn't it called Incursion?
Honestly... We're either most likely just gonna call it Incursion. I think everyone's gonna call it Incursion. But I mean, Rise of the Abyssal, yeah, we call it Abyss. It's like the abyssal depths, but we don't say abyssal depths, we say abyss, right? We'll just take one of the words. So I think most people will probably call it Vault Temple or the Temple. I think that's going to be the logical conclusion in the community. But you
Temple?
have to keep in mind that a lot of people playing PoE 2 are not PoE 1 players. So I mean, at some point, I don't think we're going to use a PoE 1 terminology to it. So I think Temple or Vault Temple will be the ongoing name moving forward, I think.
Who goes
We'll see
there?
though.
You guys see the some of the rewards from the temple? Like, how did you feel about, okay, Double Corrupt's coming to the game, but then also we have Valborn, like basically Foulborn. I'm gonna call them Valborn uniques that are coming also. How you feel about that?
I like it. I like that they're incorporating parts of what they've done in PoE 1 into a fitting, thematically fitting way in PoE 2. I think it's a good thing.
Wither away.
I really like the ability to corrupt them and remove those negative modifiers.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you know, some uniques have such cool things. They come with such terrible negatives. The ability to be like, you know, what if, like, I can get this unique? And there's so many uniques. I don't think it's working for all uniques. I think it is just for the value uniques.
Yeah,
Like,
correct.
you could just straight up remove one of those negative modifiers, but I think it'll be pretty interesting. And also the quiver and the staff that they showed off, both look really interesting.
I was looking at that. You're talking about the mirror one where, like, it mirrors
Yep.
and reflects. That shit actually does look kind of wild. I wonder what the range that you could roll that is, because let's see, a mirror appears in your presence every 2.1 seconds, and that's the level 19 version of the mirror. So every 2.1, I mean, that's a pretty long version of it, but you can have 4 mirrors up. So while you're waiting to a boss to spawn or something, you can get 4 of those mirrors up at the same time, and then you can fireball and the fireball and the fireball, and they can chain together. Like, what if you do the infused fireball, for instance?
Feel
I like the idea of it. Speaking of things that were in the patch notes, there was something that was not in the patch notes that was mentioned in the Q&A, which was magic item rarity. And same thing with the homogenized incantation with crafting. There were some parts in the patch notes with the removal of the omen and the numerical nerf to magifying stats was mentioned in the Q&A that is happening, but they were not part of the patch notes. But I wanted to talk about rarity and what's your take on rarity, Moxie. I'm not sure how well read up you are on that topic in general, but what's your take on rarity in general?
I'm just not a huge fan of it, just because I feel like anytime that it exists, especially if it's affecting currencies, you're just gonna feel like you're forced into using it. I'd rather have that be dictated by, like, difficulty, and just if I'm doing harder things, then I get better drops, rather than, like, because then you've got a weird thing where, like, what builds can afford to run rarity, so that those are the best farmers, 'cause they can give up the stats that's needed. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it, but I also know that it is something that existed in PoE 1, and people, like, made Magic Find characters, and that was the whole thing. But personally, I don't know. I don't like the feeling of FOMO if you don't have rarity, that you feel like you're potentially wasting your time playing because you're not getting the drops that someone else could be or would be getting.
I agree about the FOMO thing. I'm somewhat more forgiving about FOMO because I feel like FOMO I can apply to a lot of things. But the point you hit on there that I actually, like, very much am in, well, there's 2 points actually hit on there.
Did you guys hear the thing that Miso Shiro said about this?
Abyssal spore, still fresh.
I think it's hilarious.
Delightful.
He said, it's not FOMO
It's like one, like, not all builds.
because there's no fear about it. It's just what it is. You're just missing out. It's just Mo. You're just missing out. There's no FOMO about it. It's just Mo.
It's can afford to run rarity. You know what I mean? So it's like you do get in the situation of which builds can I run where I can actually afford to put the rarity on. That's one. But then the real primary thing that's like where I agree with it is like I want to put the stats on my character to make my character stronger, and in exchange I can do harder content, and the loot comes from the harder content, not from just doing the same content but my gear gets better so I get better loot. Like, that part doesn't really make sense to me. Like, why is my gear getting better, giving me better loot, as opposed to I'm defeating harder things? So like, I fundamentally agree with it on that same point. It actually sounds like they agree with it too. I don't know if it's exactly that point, but they said like they want to remove rarity also, right? Like, he just kind of came out and said it.
Right, they did say that.
This is basically taking the words out of my mouth. It's exactly how I feel about it. The fact that you feel bad is basically the community's perception is that it feels bad not being able to do it, and not every build can do it, which hurts build diversity. If you're aware of this and you know this, which is probably the biggest problem, because if you don't know about it, you can live life. Ignorance is bliss is the words I'm looking for, right? But if you know about it, that it feels really bad if your build is not able to sacrifice those modifiers to get the rarity to the alleged sweet spot being 150% rarity, and it's quite frustrating. And they had these stats in Theory 1. There were two different Magifying stats. One was the increased item rarity, which only applies to items, does not affect currency, and the other one was item quantity, which allowed you to drop a higher quantity of loot, which included currency. And they decided to remove quantity. This is a great change. People still do Magifying stuff, farming headhunters, mage cost, all that shit, but it doesn't affect currency. And then for some reason, they decided to kind of repeat that mistake of just making that quantity modifier apply to Theory 2 in the form of rarity of affecting currencies. And it's not really a quantity mod because you don't drop more currency. But when in the higher end game, you're not going to lose the lowest tier of transportation,
And they're not going to show up on your item
you don't
filter.
even see them on your filter. But if that one upgraded to an Exalted Orb or a Chaos Orb, or that upgrades to Divine Orb, now you're looting it. And that's what the rarity's doing. And
So it is
I understand
effectively
why
more
they're
quantity.
Still letting rarity apply to currency. This doesn't make sense to me.
What was particularly frustrating from their Q&A was they were like, oh, the community's got it like 90% wrong. There's so much misinformation about rarity.
Gaslighting
Don't
us.
understand how it actually works. And then they didn't. They weren't able
They
to, like,
said they didn't know.
elaborate or explain how it actually works.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, the part, yeah, no, I thought that too. I said the same thing.
Why couldn't they
okay,
just...
The way the community is trying to figure out the way rarity works is is just doing a bunch of kills, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's what people are doing. And then they said the way they simulate to know how rarity works is by doing a bunch of kills. So it's like, okay, but like the people don't have dev tools, so maybe they're getting it wrong. But like, they can't.
Yeah.
Like they're trying. Like
But
it's funny though.
doing
It's
our
fun.
best.
Yeah.
I spoke to GG about that after there were a handful of videos that, made the rounds on Reddit and everything. I think the most notable one was from Criparian. So I spoke to GG about it, and they told me as well the same thing. Oh, no, there's so many incorrect things here. The diminishing returns is different when it applies to currency and whatnot. They did explain it to me quite in depth, actually. One sent me an equation of it as well, and I was like, yeah, but this is one of those situations where the
Sealed
numbers
with
say
something.
one thing, but
Foul.
the
I won't be
reality
good whatever's
is
waiting
the
me.
perception in the community based on thousands upon thousands of maps tested by multiple
So the
people is
ancient enemy-
confirming that the
This
sweet spot is 150% rarity. And I tried it myself, and it's night and day going from 0 rarity to 150% rarity, even for just a few hours of grinding. And I did that for a few days. It's night and day. So no matter what the numbers are saying, the reality is the perception in the entire community is that you want to have 150% rarity. That doesn't matter if your numbers at the office is saying one thing when everyone's perception is that this is the way it is. And like, let's say that we're all wrong, and it's just we're all wrong, but we still have that feeling, and that's our perception. Then it is a problem that needs to be addressed. Because in the end, we're playing a game, it's supposed to be fun, and if our perception and our feelings towards it is this is not good, this is not fun, then that is a problem that needs to be addressed, no matter what the numbers say, right?
If you, for example, replaced it, because that seemed to be their big hang-up right now, is like, oh, we could replace it, we could remove it, we just don't know what to replace it with.
454.98,
Anything you'd want to see in its spot,
428,
For me, it's like
or
112.
just remove from the loot pool, kind of, and it's just slightly smaller.
And
I
like
don't know
cold
what
res,
you're
cold
gonna
res.
replace the affixes with. In
This
terms of
could
like
be
actually where
useful.
does that power go like in the loot equation? I want to see it on the Atlas tree myself. Like I feel like the Atlas tree feels pretty unimpactful. Like I feel like you can feel the impact of rarity on your gear more than the Atlas tree, and I feel like that's backwards. Like I should feel like the Atlas tree should be the impactful part, and you know my rarity should feel like how the Atlas tree feels, which is like kind of don't feel like almost anything. So I would rather have that impact go there. In terms of like the actual suffix, like whether you add on the suffix, that's a hard question. It's like fucking with the suffixes is kind of a big deal. I guess in some rows there's spots for that prefix too. If you just remove it.
Is it possible to put this on a different weapon set and then set Chaos Bolt to only use the second weapon set? Because right now my Chaos Bolt is level 2, which sucks. Donkey balls. Now, I could also buy a weapon. I think I have a Chaos Orb. So I think that's fair game. Because I know I can get a level 2 wand at this point. Max level, what level are we? 25? Looks like they don't exist. I need to just find one. Okay.
Yes, I can wait. That is something.
Oh yeah, no, you can't gamble on these. Forgot about that. I can gamble on Foci though. Gonna be hard to beat my current Foci. Right. Need to look at the gear. Person. I'm taking way too long here.
My wares are renowned.
We got spirit, but it's armor. Okay. I know we have a level 7 skill gem. So contagion is level 5. Is it worth it to go for profane ritual? Or should I do contagion? I think Profane Ritual, because boss damage has been a little bit lackluster. And this will help with boss damage. Plus, Chaos Bolt has been... Well, the level is too low. So I might actually replace that with Profane Ritual. Okay. Stash. Oh, we got a Gem Cutter Prism. What is quality effect on this? This is not what I wanted. Oh, I gotta actually fight in here.
I will feast on your soul.
I love how my portals are not working. So apparently you can't use portals like that. It just takes you back to the beginning of the fight.
Death, take you.
What the fuck? No, this is correct. Please don't. Thank you. So there's a waypoint right here. So next time, get the waypoint.
Pick graves and necromancy.
Get the waypoint first, I mean.
Place just gets better and better. Death and decay. I will put you down. Death is my power to wield. Oh my, what a gorgeous rite. I'm ready. Quiet now, Mastodon.
Somehow they made that thing as like annoying as possible.
I suppose I am your better necromancer.
How can I deal? Move swiftly.
These for you, young one.
I just don't know if that's worth it. Yeah, let's buy it. We'll see how it affects our damage. Those look like they didn't get a restock yet. Yeah, every other level, right?
Speak up. This could be useful.
Yeah, we can actually use this jawbone on the wand. Yeah, Dark Effigy is the one that I actually like. I think I go... Oof, either Sniper or... It's got to be Essence Drain. And what we're going to do now is look at our damage for Essence Drain 122 versus... Oh, 125. Okay. And then our Chaos Bolt is going to go up drastically. Yeah. Even without rapid casting. Okay. So now we can even... We have this. Do I have any Arcanus Eschers? No. That's okay. Let's go do that. See what we get on it. So we're looking for chaos damage here. If we get chaos damage, I'll be so happy. Hey! 28 chaos damage, 43% spell damage. Wow. Okay. So we're looking at now 70% spell damage on this wand in Act 2 and +1 to level of all chaos spells. Wow, that's so good for us. That is crazy. Now... Essence Drain is 140, so it's 125, now it's 140. And then if we compare that to where we were... Well, okay. It's not a crazy amount more than where we were before, but the Chaos Bolt is a crazy amount before. Chaos Bolt was doing 120 with the other wand. So I think I'm pretty much always above 90%, right? I'm not sure about it. Do I just do rapid casting? I'm going to do rapid casting. Damn it, I already have rapid casting. Alright, actually, I can put rapid casting here. So we're fine. What I want is considered casting. Yeah, I can't do the 90% damage thing. Or I can't do the Zenith thing, I mean.
Titans lived and died here. What fate wrought their demise? fought here, died here. A resting place. Death is my power to wield. You should have served me. This was certainly off limits to mortals. How exciting. Death and decay! Satan still lives. For now. Possibly my largest victim. Farewell. Oh, it's warm. And now mine.
And not mine. I like her voice lines. This character is so hot, in my opinion. If there was one class that I would have sex with, it's the witch, for sure. She's a babe. What do you want from me?
Greetings. Go.
It'll take a bit of my... So, now I have to blow this thing.
That's what she said.
I'll ask Shambrin about this one.
That'd be good for a monk. Definitely hold on to that. Chaos Res and Life. Actually, well, it's going to be hard to replace this Amy. But I can still regal this. See what I get. I think I'll hold on to that. Da-da-da. Sell that.
Tastes like diaper berries.
Diaper berries? That does not sound good.
Take your time. Goodbye.
It is time to... You have your orders.
This whole operation would be more efficient if they were dead.
I am hesitant to allow you act. Fight to the last.
Alright, guys. I gotta call it quits there for now. Gotta feed my dogs. And then I need to study. So I'll be coming back on later tonight, like midnight or so. Peace out, guys.